Hey folks, this is ioEther and we're back with some more World of Tanks. As you can see, this is Extreme Unicorn Warfare in his Panzer IIb. Yep. So this is a low tier game. Obviously, it's a tier 4 game. It's a tier 4 game on Westfield. And, you know, I just wanted to have some fun today. And obviously, Extreme does too, because the only thing he's got loaded are, of course, the premium rounds. He's going to lose a fortune in this game, but it's probably going to be worth it. Before we get into this game, I do want to say that I really have enjoyed being able to make videos for you guys for the last little while. And I'm supposed to put up a paintball game sometime soon, in which, well, a video in which I get shot by a bunch of paintballs. I really need to know if there's any of you in or around the Rochester area who'd be perfectly fine with shooting me with some paintballs. And if there is, then go ahead and send me an email and we'll get to talking about that. If there's not, then I don't know who I'm going to find for that, because Sweetness has declined every time I've asked her. So, I don't know, maybe somebody at church. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know who I'm going to get to shoot me, because apparently nobody wants to shoot me with a paintball gun, and it's kind of getting annoying. So yeah, if there's one of you that are in and around the Rochester area, and Rochester, New York, by the way, and if any of you want to shoot me with a paintball gun, I'd say up to 2 hours away from Rochester, I'm willing to drive halfway there, kind of thing. If you want to make a bit of it, and I'm sure we can like go out for some lunch or something like that. If you're up for that, then send me an email. If you're not, don't worry about it, and I'll get the game out, or not the game. I'll get the massacre out when I can. I forgot how fast this thing aims and reloads, but in the time it's taken for him to get damaged once, which by the way took off like a third of his health, he destroyed that poor Type 95. Oh, as we get hit by artillery, which does a little bit, not a whole lot, but you know, a little bit. Now he's pressing in on the Type 95. He knows the Type 95 is alone. There is a Valentine's somewhere down here, but there isn't any support for the Type 95 up here. The other problem is it's a Type 95. Or other problem for that 95 is it's a Type 95. That thing is slow, it's cumbersome, and it's really very horrible. It doesn't have a good anything. It doesn't have a good gun. It doesn't have a good armor. It doesn't have good speed. It has okay health. That is the best thing it has. It's a lot like a TOG, except worse. Because at least the TOG has a decent gun and a health pool. This poor MTLS, as he just pops over the ridgeline, uses that auto aim, and more or less just rocks back and forth, dealing out damage every few seconds. Unfortunately, though, once that Valentine's reloads, we're going to be in a lot of trouble, as he gets hit from the 95 and it pens. Wow, that must have been the shot through his sock. No, yeah, that went through. That's the Type 95 shell. That's a little unfortunate. Ooh, nice hit into the artillery on the move through the trees. Not maybe the most difficult shot you've ever seen, but it's still nice to connect those. As he starts pecking away at this poor M1542, who actually gets away with it by jumping off the cliff. Hey, look, the Valentine. This is a guy who's been pecking at us all game, and so it feels nice to get some shots back into him. Unfortunately, though, with these shots not all going in the places he'd like them, he is actually, most of these are going higher than he'd like, and so he's actually dropping the gun a lot lower than I would normally say he should, and I think he probably connected 2 or 3 of those blind shots. Unfortunately, not enough to kill it, but probably enough to make it regret life. Though something over there is still firing on over on this side we saw a shell fly out, so maybe the Valentine has moved over here, or maybe it's in that bush now. But no, there's still something over here. He's definitely determined to fire shots into that bush, though. We're gonna speed this up a little bit because it's gonna take him some time to relocate and get back into the fight. This thing is not the fastest in the world. It has decent frontal armor, but not like anything to shake a stick at, and definitely not anything you want to be relying on. But you don't really have a choice when you have 4 health left, right? He's firing through this wall, and I don't know if the M2 isn't... I don't know what the M2 was doing, but it should have fired a few more times than it did. The Crusader 4 is firing out of frontal armor. But because he is not... I mean, he's a tier 3 tank shooting at a tier 4 tank. It's never going to end quite the way the tier 3 wants, right? And now, instead of continuing forward, he pushes off the wall and starts away. So, yeah, you can... like, with the rounded armor on the front, it is actually not that horrible, or not that easy to pen. You want to be shooting for this driver support here because it's flattish, and other than that, it doesn't really matter. Everything but the front of this thing is so easy to kill. Alright? Okay, so 4 friendlies left. I only see 3 of them. Or I guess 3 friendlies left. I only see 2 of them. And 5 enemies left. The M37 was never spotted, and it looks like the T56 GMC was never spotted. It's likely that the T56 is over here, which is why it was never lit. But then again, our 2 allies are over there, and they're not seeing anything, so maybe the T56 was over here somewhere. Or maybe he's still at spawn, having never moved. I don't know. Looks like our MTLS is saying that his best strategy is to hide in a corner. And so there's that. We have the Largo and the Chiha running into the enemy base right now. We're gonna push this forward a little bit with some 2 times speed because, whoa, that's not where I expected him to be, especially after the Largo and the Chiha already pushed through there. And you can see by the reaction time on Extreme, he was not looking at targets over in that area either. It took him, you know, a good 5 or 6 seconds to react to that, longer than it took me. And I'm not even certain I spotted that as it was lit. Unfortunately, the Largo goes down, but it does take the M37 with it. So there's that. It is now a 4v3. No artillery, which does help a lot. We're going to speed this up a little bit because even sped up, this thing is still going to take forever to get up this hill, which is obviously what Extreme wants. He wants to get to the top of this hill. That's interesting. 1 good shot, 2 good shots. Oh, no. Unfortunately, not able to land that 3rd to last shot because of the fact that he stopped on a dime, and now he's just getting back down below their guns. Again, he assumed they pushed over here and be looking in this direction. And honestly, getting down is never a bad plan when you don't know exactly where the enemies are. My family has just arrived home. If you guys hear doors opening or closing, that's exactly what that is. So he needs to kill, or at least let his team kill, 3 more enemies in order to end this. But at this point in time, it is a 3v3. I don't know about this move. This could result in failure, just because of the fact that if they're on this slope right here, then they're gonna, and they spot him pushing right now, or anytime in the next like 20 feet, he is so dead. There is nothing he can do right now if they spot him. It comes down to the enemy missing, and that is you'd never want to rely on the enemy messing up, because that's never I mean, you never want to bet that the enemy is going to mess up. Oh, look at that. T-56 now spotted, as apparently it was working its way around the top. Nice shot. Unfortunately, doesn't land. Hit the wall next to him. That shot lands. And oh, look, the Valentine was left on 15 health. Is he going to back out? We saw him for a second there. Unfortunately, not able to get the shot again. Oh, well. Oh, no, okay. Ooh, I would have thought that blind shot was going to connect. But either there was something in the way or somehow that shell didn't land on target. It looks like the majority, well, at least 2 of the enemy tank destroyers have gotten around to our base. Likely the ioEther is with them. That's where he should be anyway. All the enemies should be together, just as our team should be all together. But our Chiha is stranded at the back of their base. He is either gonna have to sit there the entire time, or if he's got 2 low health and he can't survive, then he's gonna die. You know, assuming that the enemy SU is over there still. Notice he fell back just before he fired. Nope, ioEther is here too. Notice how he fell back just before he fired on the Valentine. He wanted solid cover between him and the Valentine to make sure that it wasn't gonna be able to see him kill it, and thus no friendly or its friendlies couldn't fire on us. ioEther comes running out from behind cover, hoping to escape, but of course he's stuck going up a hill to get it away, and that's just never gonna work out. As soon as the ioEther and the Valentine committed to the cap, they pretty much threw their lives away, as they were out in the open with no hope of gaining cover if this all went sideways. And once this all went sideways, like it obviously did, then they were in bad shape. Now, our Chiha, instead of coming back all this way to try and rejoin the battle, has elected to start a cap, and that's really smart. Because what that means is it forces the T-56, it has to engage and kill Extreme, and then it still has to run all the way back to cap. And unless it's quite fast, it's unlikely to get there in a minute. At tier 3, oh, we've been spotted. That's not optimal. He's going to need to bounce this incoming round, which I assume is coming from straight ahead of him. Why have we not been shot yet? Okay, apparently the GMC saw us in such a way that it couldn't fire at us, or elected not to. I don't know which. It doesn't really matter. He should have shot us. Unless he was completely out of position, like facing the wrong way completely, he should have shot us. He didn't. And now 1, and then he shoots us 2. Oh, with that last shell. I don't even know where that last shell ricocheted off. Can't see a mark for it. But it definitely, oh, right there. Stopped by the extra track armor, most likely. You know, wow. If that guy had stopped and aimed, which is what he should have done, then he could have finished us off and killed us, and lost the game still, mind you, because he would not have got back to the cap in 26 seconds. But it would have been a nice little kill for him. Unfortunately, he panicked, fired off the cuff, and that is the end of him and the victory for us. And this was a good game. I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much, Extreme, for sending this in. Now let's go see what he gets for all of this work he put in. This was the Ace Tanker. He also gets Bruiser, Duelist, Fire for Effect, Shellproof, a Spartan, because of course that one at the end, High Caliber, and Top Gun. And yes, this was a high caliber game. And when you see exactly, when you look at this, he did 3 times more than the next highest damage on his team. Now, I'd be happy in most tier like 8 games to get 1700 base damage or 1700 damage in a tier 8 game. That's fair, right? It's almost your health points most of the time. So most of the time you'll get like close to a fire for effect. It's a really good point to be aiming for. And a tier 4 game, that's crazy. I'm pretty sure he got a fire for effect. He did. Okay, so with 200 damage, our modder gets a fire for effect. That just tells you how much more, like, so he got 4 times more damage than he had health. More than that. Alright? Like, that's insane! And Uchiha did nothing that game. He fired 23 shells and ran forever, and of course the base cap, but he didn't hit anything. He didn't get shot. He didn't block anything, spot anything, damage anything, detect anything. He did nothing but fire shots off at targets he probably couldn't see, and run around the edge of the map. That's unfortunate. Wow. And for that, because of the fact that he did that and didn't die, meant that it negated the Kalbanos. But really, this game deserves a Kalbanos, right? Right. As this is effectively the definition of standing alone against 5 enemies and winning. Good job, sir. Thank you so much for saying this in. Not as much of fortune, actually, as I thought it was going to be in losses, but good lord, look at that. This was obviously done on a ×4 event, and I got a ton of free experience, or experience out of it, which I assume he converted to free experience. But yeah, thank you so much, Extreme, for saying this in. This was joy to watch, and great first Saturday, and so thank you all. Have a great Saturday, and enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you later. This is ioEther out.